Baruch, Bezat Hashem Mincha is going to be at 8 p.m. Please be on time. As we were talking about yesterday, the Halacha, that if you have some people have this custom to eat and say Berachot on Shabbat before they start the meal. And we said that that custom has a basis in Halacha. You can do that way if that's your custom. You don't have to change. If it's not your custom, then you don't have to do it, obviously. We did say that a person who is doing this custom, who does have this sort of mentality, shouldn't eat too much before the meal. Meaning to say, if he's having a little bit of fish, a little bit of meat, he shouldn't have a kazait, he shouldn't have 27 grams. Why? Because he gets himself into machloket, into disagreement, whether he's supposed to say bracha achrona or not, since he's standing right before the meal, and he's going to be eating bread, and then eventually he's going to be saying Birkat HaMazon. That Birkat HaMazon perhaps really goes on the food that he's eating now, even though it's before the Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz. But there is a safek. It's not certain. It's questionable whether the food he's eating now requires Bracha Achrona or not. And since he's really trying to help, and by having more than a kazait, he's making more doubts. So therefore we tell him, look, just don't have a kazait, have less, have half a kazait, and just say the Berachot. That's the whole purpose of it anyways, to say the Berachot. To say Bracha Rishona, all you need to have is a little bit. So, and then the meal's right before you, so you'll be able to eat it in a few minutes. So therefore that's the appropriate way of going about it. However, the question really is, what happens if he did have a kazait? Let's say he didn't know, and he did have a kazait. Should he say Bracha Achrona or should he not say Bracha Achrona? So the Halacha says you don't say Bracha Achrona in that case, because of the fact that it's a safek. You're not going to require the man to say Bracha Achrona, even though there are many opinions that hold that you should say Bracha Achrona, but nevertheless, Halacha L'Maaseh, we say don't say Bracha Achrona. What's interesting is we have a similar idea on Pesach by the karpas. When we have the karpas, we eat a little bit of the vegetable, right? It's the celery, let's say, and you take a bite out of it, you say Borei Pri Adama, you're standing before the meal, but everybody says, the Baal HaBayit, the head of the household, is supposed to tell everybody that, hey, don't eat too much of it, have less than a kazait, have a bite or two, and not more than that, because of the same question, so that you don't get yourself into an issue when it comes to the Bracha Achrona. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen.